Hello there, collectors, hobbyists, and those who just love to see records be broken. And welcome to our Summer Platinum Night recap show. I'm Mike Provenzale, and joining me is Joe Orlando, our executive VP, and Tony Giese down there, our wrestling expert with a lot to say, amongst other things. It was a very exciting weekend for the entire industry. Our Summer Platinum Night auction closed, session 1 on Saturday, session 2 on Sunday night. So many amazing results and stories that have come out of the auction this weekend. Our Platinum auction is always the premier event in the industry, and this one did not disappoint. A lot of records and a lot of headlines. Joe, let's start with you. How did you feel about the auction?
A lot of fun, and I'm tired, but it was well worth it. I think, obviously we're going to touch on the big card, the big Kobe Jordan card here in a minute. But the thing that I took away from this beyond that record price was just the strength in so many different categories. It's not like it's just cards or it's just jerseys or it's just tickets. We had record prices all over the place. So that's a great sign of health for the market.
Absolutely. And Tony, what are you thinking?
It was great. I mean, just across the board, the prices were so solid. Of course, the Jordan Kobe card everyone's going to be talking about, but I think in other areas too, game worn jerseys were solid. Type 1 photos were solid. Wrestling was really good too. So a lot of diversity and really good prices across the board. So very, very encouraging, I would say.
Yeah, so the auction was 1,400 lots, and the final total was $49.5 million for the entire auction. So yeah, some great results across the board. Of course, our Platinum auction brings in the high-profile, high-dollar items. We also had some great collections. But let's start with the big story, the 2007 Upper Deck Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant Dual Logoman. There it is, gentlemen. We've lived with this card for almost a month now, and it continues to amaze. Final total, $12,932,000, surpassing the 52 tops mantle in an SGC 9.5 to become the most valuable card ever sold. Joe, you saw that coming, right?
Right. Sure I did. Yeah, I mean, everyone's been asking that question, right? Did we see this coming? I mean, we knew it was special. We knew it was going to bring a great price. We really believed it was going to set the modern record without question. But the all-time record, I will admit I could not have predicted that. And I think on a serious note, what this shows is that those old, again, for guys my age, grew up collecting 80s, 90s, there was a time where if something was quote unquote modern, it just couldn't get past certain thresholds. There was a ceiling and it was generally pretty low. I don't care if it was a jersey or a bat or a card, whatever it was, there was this hard line drawn between vintage and modern. And what we've seen, and we saw about 20, 25 years ago, things started to change to a degree, but now it is very clear it doesn't matter anymore if something is modern versus vintage. If it's elite, if it's exceptional, it's going to bring a tremendous price.
Yeah, a little peek behind the curtain on auction night on Saturday night. Our whole staff is in the office while extended bidding is going on. And this went till 2 a.m. And we were all huddled around one person's computer watching the price go up. Every bid we were shouting until it passed the mantle. We were all surprised. This is a room full of sports collectible experts. And we were like teenage fans just oohing and awing. Tony, what was your experience that night?
It was amazing. Here's the thing that really stuck with me. I remember I'm watching it. It gets down to about 2 minutes. And then all of a sudden with about might have been like a minute left in extended bid, I hear that it got bid on. And from there is when it just went crazy. Then every 15, 20 minutes, there was a bid. And, they would wait till the very, very end in some of the instances on it. But I was really surprised at how long it went into overtime before that first bid was registered. And I thought it was done. I'll be honest. When it got to be 2 minutes, I kind of stopped. And then I heard them say, there's a bid. And then everything just went from there. But that was pretty amazing. And it never gets old. You know, you put so much time and effort into this stuff, and to see that kind of result, it's just amazing. And it's so much fun to be here to experience that, especially that kind of number. I don't think any of us thought it was going to catch the mantle card. Just like Joe said, we figured it would maybe get, maybe a couple bids, but to the level that it got, we were all very surprised. I can say that.
Yeah, and of course, our consigners and winning bidders are always confidential unless they announce it themselves. And they did in this case. A bidding group of 3 with Shine, very well known to all collectors, and Kevin O'Leary, Mr. Wonderful, part of the group as well of Shark Tank fame. At least that's how I know him best. But he did a great interview on CNBC yesterday talking about the whole experience, and that people at his level consider items like this just like a Warhol or a rare watch or Bitcoin or any other valuable asset. Great moment for the entire hobby. Joe, what are your thoughts on the reveal of the buyers?
Well, I do find Shark Tank entertaining, so I'll start with that. No, it's very good. No, but I think it's, I know it was met with sort of, mixed reactions about, you have the hardcore collectors that feel almost like something's being taken away from them, and then you have other people who are like, wow, tremendous promotion for the industry itself. I mean, I'm kind of with the latter group. I mean, look, this has been happening for a while. This is not new. As new people come into the market, and some of those people have extreme spending power, a lot of those great cards and jerseys and bats and autographs and photos, they're going into strong hands. It didn't just happen this weekend. I think the fact that that Kevin was willing to go out there and say, hey, look, I was part of the group that bought the card. This is why. I think that's good. I think it shows the credibility of high-end collectibles as a legitimate place to park your money. Now, some people do it like me. I've been a collector my whole life. I know Tony has too. There's collecting, but there are people that are doing it more from the investment perspective, and that's okay. That's okay. It's not for me to judge. But what I have found is the people who start by doing that, guess what ends up happening? They fall in love with it and they become collectors just like the rest of us. So I think it's good because, again, it gets the word out about how serious high-end collectibles should be taken.
Tony, you a Shark Tank fan, or at least now you are?
I am now. I mean, what it's done is it's taken it and it's made it more mainstream than it's ever been before. For so long it was a niche thing, but now it's on a national scale where, we were collectors and kind of geeking out over this stuff, but now it's gotten more and more mainstream, and it's on a national, worldwide now. I would say more so than ever before. And this is just an extreme case of it, but it's great to see it because for so long, you would get maybe an ESPN to cover something like this. Now it's national media, and you were on the national media talking about this auction a couple weeks ago. So, I mean, it's a very exciting thing for the hobby.
I was ahead of the curve. Is that what you were saying?
You were ahead of the curve. Absolutely.
Well, I think where we'll see it is, of course, it's going to help high-end collectibles like this across all venues, but it's going to bring more people into the industry, and very few people jump in at the 7 or 8 figure level. I think we're going to see, more in the 2,000 to 20,000 range, a real boon to those items, because those are investments the majority of people can make, not just the most wealthy people in the world. So I think all levels of the hobby are going to benefit from this, his statement, and all that. And of course, records are made to be broken. So I think there's people who are on the vintage side and think a vintage card should be at the top. And I'm sure they'll get some opportunities in our auctions coming up to put it there. So excited for the future. But plenty of other items had great weekends. So let's talk about one of our favorites, the game-worn genre. And Joe, what was your thoughts on that in the auction?
Yeah, well, look, the Mickey Mantle jersey was one of many things that set price records this weekend. And like the card, I mean, we're talking about exceptional quality, and this set an all-time record for a Mantle jersey. What was it? A little 5.2 million. So, and the previous record was, of course, held by Heritage Auctions a couple of summers ago, I believe, with the 1958 Mantle pinstripe, which was also a gorgeous example. I think this is going to be the message throughout this recap. It's everything that performed well. What's the common denominator? Quality. I mean, the really super high quality pieces in every category continue to separate themselves from the rest of the pack. And that's not a short-term trend. It's been building for a long time, but those gaps are getting wider. And so you're seeing, again, records in not just cards, not just jerseys, in almost every category, if it's the best of the best. And that's exactly what this jersey was. It's one of the best Mantle examples in the business. As we talked about on the live show over the weekend, it just checked so many boxes. It's Mantle in his prime. It's a home pinstripe. It's all original. It's autographed. It's photo matched. I mean, you just keep going down the line. And that's why at the end of the day, it set a new record.
And it had something else in common with the Logoman. Hadn't been publicly available. This had been sitting in one collection for decades. So it came out. It was an introduction to the current market, and it performed well. Tony, what game-worn items caught your eye?
I think the reason behind a lot of this is the photo matching now, and it's just taken our entire industry and just driven it to a level nobody could have imagined years ago. I mean, the Clemente at 200, almost 300,000, Melot, another one, 305. I mean, just, these numbers were just really, really impressive. We had some football jerseys I thought that did quite well. It's pretty strange. I was going through the items today, and we had a Ben Roethlisberger went for 30,000, and we had a Bo Nix, who last year was a rookie, go for right around the same, just a little less, like 26,000. So, it's across the board. I think it's those high quality jerseys. There's not a lot of them out there, and if you've got one, you're going to get a really nice price right now. And, we're just seeing it in all sports too. I mean, even basketball, we had a LeBron James early jersey go for, well into six figures. So, I mean, there's a lot of opportunities in this current market, I think.
I would agree. And, two that caught my eye, the Alex Rodriguez 500th home run, game-worn uniform, jury's out on consensus opinion on A-Rod, but that performed very well. And then we also had Clemente's game-used gloves sold for $140,000, which is a huge number for a glove. And I think, we're seeing some of these items that might have been afterthoughts before. For game-worn jerseys and bats and sneakers have always been in the lead. But we've seen some good prices for gloves lately. Maybe they're making some noise, but across the board, some great results. And Tony, we would be remiss if we didn't talk about the Macho Man collection, which was astonishing this weekend.
Yeah, it was. The first installment did well, did a little better than I thought it might do, because that market is very new, developing. And
very passionate fans, but you're right.
Very passionate fans.
As far as collectors, it's new.
Mm-hmm. Well, we saw this at the WrestleCons that we went to in Indianapolis and then in Vegas for WrestleMania. But the thing was, it's very sustainable. Now, the second installment performed even better than the first. So I was really happy with those results on the Macho Man. Obviously, the Hulk Hogan boots we'll be talking about. That right there, his rookie robe, which he took from, I think it was first used in '83. Then when he went to WWF in '85, so it's his rookie robe from his O-Pee-Chee card. But that one did extremely well. The WrestleMania 5 trunks, I thought, were just amazing. Yes, those trunks there with the blood on them still, and he used it for a short period of time, these trunks, but they showed great wear. They had an apparent photo match to, I think, 2 or 3 matches. So that one had all the bells and whistles that you could really want. And also the Royal Rumble robe, the outfit from the Royal Rumble, that one right there, the purple one, kind of sandwiched in between the trunks and the rookie robe. No, right there. That one was a shock to me. It was used in the Rumble, which is a very big event, but that had an 8,000 estimate, and to hammer home with everything included at over 40,000, that is very, very impressive. Last time the Slim Jim did the best, and that outfit did around 45. But that right there, that just tells you that the Macho Man has got a great following, diehard fans. But I think across the board, everything performed really well. Yes, they're colorful outfits. Yes, they photo matched or had apparent photo matches. But I think really it just kind of tells you that this market is moving forward. And Joe can talk about the card set and how well that performed, which is a new record. So I think across the board, really solid.
Tony, this weekend I did an interview and they asked me to compare Randy Macho Man to a baseball player. So here's what I came up with on the fly there.
Can't wait to hear this.
Hulk Hogan's the Babe Ruth. Andre the Giant is the Lou Gehrig. And Macho Man is the Willie Mays, the 5'2" guy that could do it all.
There you go. I'm not going to argue with that.
Yeah, Joe, let's talk about the 1982 Wrestling All-Stars card set, which set a record for any wrestling collectible.
Yeah, I think it finished a little over 170,000, I believe.
Correct.
Establishing a new record, as you said. That was again in this genre. That's a big moment. I think people look back when you're following a certain collectible category. They look back at certain moments of time where collectibles broke through. The first time a jersey did this or a Type 1 photo did that. Because of all the success in the wrestling genre this weekend, people will probably look back at this specific auction. I know that this got buried with all the the 7-figure and the 8-figure things going on in the auction, but they'll probably point to this and say this was a breakthrough moment for wrestling. And so, as Tony pointed out, so this set, look, this is in the wrestling world, there's not a whole lot to choose from when it comes to cards, but this set is regarded as the set. With the Hulk Hogan card, the Andre card, the Ric Flair card, again, across the board in very high grade, 8s, 9s, and 10s. It's a special set. It was one of the best ever assembled, and the price reflected that. We go into these auctions sometimes and we think we can predict things, and sometimes things go much higher. Sometimes, things come up a little bit short. This is something we were talking about this a couple of months ago. We anticipated that this was going to do well, and it did. And that's always a nice feeling, with all the effort, as you guys both mentioned, taking it around the country, showing people in person and seeing how much attention it received. The reason the Macho Man stuff did so well, the reason this did so well, it's a generational cycle and it's nostalgia. This was an amazing time to be a wrestling fan. And again, the bidding reflected what we thought was going to happen.
Yeah, and we had this set, a whole case to itself at the National in a prime spot, and I really enjoyed seeing all the wrestling people come out. It was like they were all getting their flowers, because wrestling was having its moment. Great demographic. Love their activity on social media. Some of the best follows out there. But let's keep talking about cards. Now, Mickey Mantle lost the title for all-time highest, but we had some incredible Mantle card results over the weekend. Joe, what did you see?
Yeah, I mean, there were a number of big prices on the card side. I guess one of the things that stood out to me was the autographed 1952 Topps Mantle. So you're combining a couple of different sort of categories there into one. But look, on card autos in modern, we know what's going on there in the ultra modern world. And I think, as we were talking about it over the weekend, I really think that it's not a trend, but when that started to become a trend, going back to the 1990s and the manufacturers issuing what they would deem their premium cards with autographs, I think that ultimately had an impact on the vintage signed cards. I mean, there was a time, again, for guys that were active then where, this was a little taboo for some back, 30, 40, 50 years ago. It was somewhat taboo. And a lot of hardcore card collectors wouldn't even consider an autographed card. How could you deface the card that way? But I think the manufacturer trend of the last 25, 35 years actually got the entire community to kind of relax a little bit and realize there's a place for both, for unsigned cards and signed cards. And now with this breaking $1 million and setting a new record, because again, why? Well, it's the highest graded 52 Mantle to be autographed in the Pop Report. So once again, exceptional quality garners an exceptional price.
Yeah, beautiful card. We also had some great results for other Mantle cards, but this one is the first time a vintage signed card topped $1 million. It's the record for a signed vintage card. And I think good things to come because little teaser here, we have the Golden Age collection coming up later this year, which is one of the finest vintage signed card collections on earth. So we'll be talking about that down the road, but I think some more high notes there. What other cards did you see that really piqued your interest as far as the results?
I mean, geez, we could go through the 62 Topps Mantle was a record. The 69
62 Topps card, period.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was 488. Is that correct on that one? 488,000. I mean, obviously there were a ton of vintage cards that drew big numbers, but Mantle, yeah, of course it's Mantle jersey, Mantle autograph card. 62 Mantle. There was a 69 white letter that finished just a hair under $1 million. And then you had all sorts of other, vintage cards that brought big money, but so did the modern. I mean, that's the thing it wasn't just the Jordan Kobe. If you comb through those 1,400 lots, you'll see tremendous prices on Griffey Essential Credentials and plenty of other cards. There was a Star Company Jordan that I believe set a record for that particular, variation of that card. So there were plenty of records to go around. But again, you go back to what's the common denominator: scarcity, quality, and so on.
Yeah, and on the modern side, we had the Upper Deck Kobe Patch 2 autograph, which did 268,000. That's one of the most coveted Kobe cards, probably helped by the logo man there. And then the 1998 playoff contenders Peyton Manning rookie ticket, which sold for over 200,000. That's a record for a Peyton Manning card and any 90s football card. So like you said, kind of across the board, there was some great results for everything. Let's talk about tickets also. While we're on Jordan, I love the story of that debut ticket from Jordan's NBA debut, and that had an incredible result.
Yeah, I mean, so real quick, the quick story is a family of four went to the game, Michael Jordan's NBA debut against Washington, I believe, in 1984, and just happened to keep the tickets. I wouldn't describe the family as hardcore collectors, although they are hardcore sports fans. They have some collectibles. But they kept the 4 tickets, and they kept them for the most part in remarkable condition. This is one of 2 8s that came from the find and set a record for a Jordan debut stub at 280,000. Now, what was really interesting to me is that the very next night, we offered one of the others, which was a 6. The 6 almost finished at $200,000, which told me that people missed out. They go, oh, geez, I almost like I missed the first one. Now I want to take one of them home with me. And so to me, the 6 price was equally as impressive.
Yeah, definitely. There's something good about having the 2 days, and the 8 posts that huge number, and then you've got the 6 right there. Definitely affected it. Some great results for tickets, but Tony, there's something Packers related I wanted to talk to you about. The 1923 stock certificate. I was kind of unfamiliar with it. Everybody knows the Packers sell their stock. They're publicly traded, but this had a $30,000 estimate. It's at $152,000. Give us a little bit about this.
Yeah, this was a really special piece. And, a lot of times you'll see stock certificates and they don't move the radar all that much. This does, because the Packers were literally saved by a stock sale. And the first stock sale from 1923, there's obviously very few that are still in existence. Most of them got thrown away or just got lost through time. And, it's so important. The stock sales are so important to the Packers surviving. If they wouldn't have had the first stock sale, they probably wouldn't have made it through. So this one here was in exceptional shape, great condition, and great graphics on it. And yeah, it went well past the 30,000 estimate. I think was it 125, 140,000, I think is what it ended at with the buyer's premium. I'm sorry, 152 with the buyer's premium. And I don't think there's any other thing as far as the Packers are concerned that is as important as an early stock like this. Yes, there's uniforms, but this is such an important part of Packer history. And they have done subsequent stock sales. They did one in the 40s and the 50s, and they do it ever so often to generate money still to this day. But this is the first stock sale. There's only a handful known, and it's really an important piece of Packers history. And obviously a couple guys really fought it out. And that number, it kind of rivals the Dave Robinson rings, which we sold, and
yes,
and the Tom Brown rings as well. So it just kind of tells you it's not just rings and jerseys. It's even something like this, a stock certificate from the Packers, early Packers, but a very important part of the team's history.
Yeah, and cool display piece as well.
Mm-hmm.
Get that framed up. Another great display piece that we're very familiar with is the Bulls court that we sold this weekend. 8 foot by 8 foot piece of the court used at the United Center inside the 3-point line, free throw line extended. And it was used during the Bulls' second three-peat and had a massive Michael Jordan signature, almost 3 feet long, and then 3 inscriptions. Little peek behind the curtain. We've had this for almost 2 years in our office, vetting it, authenticating it. We were able to get it photo matched to some prime dates in the aughts. Jordan's last game at the United Center with the Wizards, LeBron's first game at the United Center. But really an incredible piece, and over $500,000. Great result for something really unique. I was wondering where this would end up compared to the Kobe court we sold a while back from his final game that he signed, especially with the Jordan and Kobe Logoman going off and this going off. But a great result. And what I want to see from the winning bidder is your display. How are you going to display this? Someone on social media sent me, they have the same size piece of court from an all-star game, the middle logo signed, and they found a way to get it on the wall in a shadow box. So I can put you two in touch if needed, if you need some help. But very cool piece. Anything else that you guys want to touch on? Was there something else that really was noteworthy from the sale?
The one thing I think about that court, about the court was it was used for such an extended period of time. You would think they would use that court for a year or two and be done with it, but they used that for, I mean, multiple seasons. And the way he signed it, and obviously that part with the Bulls logo on it, such a special piece. And yeah, to have that framed up, I want to see that frame. That would be pretty impressive. But no, I guess I just think overall everything was really, really solid, and the numbers were just incredible across the board. It was an amazing auction.
Joe, final thoughts from you?
Yeah, I mean, just to support what Tony just said, I mean, I think all collectors should come away from this weekend feeling very good about the endeavor they have chosen. Let's put it that way. I think it just shows you how popular it is. And I want to follow one of Tony's comments from earlier. The mainstream thing is a big factor here, because back many, many years ago, a lot of collectors were almost afraid to share what they did with others. And now you have people willing to go on live TV and scream from the rooftops how interesting they find this field. That only bodes well for the future of our industry.
Yeah, things have really changed in that respect. A lot more consigners and winning bidders going public, people sharing their collections on social media. So it's a good time to be in the industry. And what I loved about this auction, we have a incredible staff at Heritage. We have over 15 experts. They all have their different expertise. And they were all coming up to me, oh, I just brought this in, be it a modern card, a vintage card, a photo, a ticket, a ring, a jersey, all excited about what they'd brought in that's in their niche vein of expertise. So I'd say to everybody out there, especially those people who are Shark Tank fans that may be wanting to jump into the industry, feel free to reach out to us. We do free appraisals on anything. Try to stump the nerds we have on our staff as far as if something's authentic or what it's worth. Our number one tenet at Heritage is to share as much information as we can with collectors and buyers, whether they are collecting and buying with us or not. We just want to make sure every collector has all the information to make educated decisions. And, it was a great weekend, but we're already in catalog crunch for the next auction, our fall auction, which is going to open in a couple weeks. I can tell you it's over 3,000 lots. So very excited about that. And then we have another catalog auction this year right after that, which the consignment deadline is still open. So feel free to reach out to us. Joe, what's the best way for people to get a hold of you?
joeo@ha.com.
Tony?
Tony G at ha.com.
And I'm Mike P at ha.com, or reach out to us on any of our social media platforms. That's always me. I'm there to assist in that regard. Or if you just want to show off your collectibles, that's some of my favorite messages we get. A huge thank you to all of our consigners. Thank you for trusting us, especially with your premium items that we're able to set records with. We are very humbled to get that opportunity. And to all of our bidders, congratulations. Don't worry, we have more amazing material coming up for you very, very soon. So everyone have fun collecting, and we'll see you next time.